126 actual. Target is in the main house. You have execute authority.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
How's it going, troops? Jordan here, back again with the Modern Warfare loadout you've all been waiting for. In today's loadout video, we are once again representing Mother Russia as we join the Russian Special Forces, collectively known as Spetsnaz, in Modern Warfare multiplayer. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and without further ado, let's take a look at our mission briefing. This is a military loadout, role-playing as an elite Russian Spetsnaz operator in 2021. We're going to use a combination of silent and deadly weaponry to take out our enemies in close quarters, and just like the real Spetsnaz, we're going to use equipment and kill streaks to scramble enemy radars and sabotage enemy vehicles and objective points. The origins of Spetsnaz begin at the end of World War II, after neighbouring countries joined the USSR once the Red Army helped to defeat Nazi Germany. Wojska Specjalnego Nazначenia, or Spetsnaz, is an umbrella term for Russian special forces, as well as post-Soviet forces, which is why we also see Spetsnaz groups in countries like Ukraine, Belarus and Kazakhstan. Russia's Spetsnaz are one of the best special forces in the world, and are known for infiltrating enemy territory and either taking out high-value targets or destroying enemy communications and vehicles. Since their incarnation, the Russian Spetsnaz have carried out numerous undercover operations across the globe, including the 1979 Operation Storm 333 in Afghanistan, and a secret operation at the 2014 Sochi Winter Olympics, in which the leader of a Chechen militant group who had planned to attack the Winter Games was killed by a Spetsnaz soldier. Not a lot is known about the current Spetsnaz in 2021 and the operations they have taken part in, as the Russian government choose to keep these details under wraps. Most recently, however, it's believed the Spetsnaz have had some involvement in the Syrian civil war, reportedly being seen in Aleppo and in Homs. So let's begin by taking a look at our primary weapon that we're going to be equipping. The Spetsnaz use a variety of Soviet weaponry in their kit, including the AKS-74U, the AK-74 and the Dragunov. In my last Spetsnaz loadout for Modern Warfare, we equipped both the AK-47 and the Dragunov and converted these weapons into a modern AK-74M and the SVDS Dragunov. This was mainly because the Spetsnaz's other main primary, the AS-VAL, wasn't available in Modern Warfare at the time. But we now do have the AS-VAL available in Modern Warfare, as it was added to multiplayer back in Season 6, and so for this reloaded loadout, we're going to be equipping Russia's own AS-VAL. But of course we can't go in bare bones, so let's equip some attachments for our AS-VAL. For our first attachment, we're going to choose a laser, and we're going to go with the 5mm laser. Laser sights are typically equipped onto the AS-VAL by Spetsnaz operators. With the 5mm laser, this bright green laser sight increases our hipfire accuracy while decreasing our sprint to fire speed, giving us better reaction times in tight engagements. For our second attachment, we're going to choose an optic, and I have selected the Viper reflex sight. There's a bunch of Russian optics used by the Spetsnaz, but one that fits this close quarters setup is the Viper reflex optic, which provides a clear circular view on target. For our third attachment, we're going to choose a weapon perk, and we're going to go with sleight of hand. With the AS-VAL only having 20 rounds in its default magazines, and the Spetsnaz training daily with their firearms, we'll go with the sleight of hand weapon perk to reload and insert a new mag faster. For our fourth attachment, we're going to choose a rear grip, and we're going for the stipple grip tape. This grip tape makes us better weapon trained by further increasing our ADS speed as well as our sprint to fire speed. And finally, for our fifth attachment, we're going to choose an underbarrel, and we're going for the operator foregrip. Some Spetsnaz operators choose to attach foregrips onto the AS-VAL, and the one I've gone for is the operator foregrip, which focuses our aiming stability and betters our control over the AS-VAL's recoil. So that's why the operator foregrip will be our fifth and final attachment. So those are going to be our attachments for the AS-VAL. Now let's move on to our secondary weapon of choice for this loadout. For our secondary weapon, we're going to choose the Sykov. One of the main sidearms still used today by Spetsnaz is the Makarov pistol, and more specifically the Makarov PMM variant. The Makarov, which is called the Sykov in-game, is expected to come to Modern Warfare at some point in the near future, despite it being sat in the game files for many months now. We'll still equip the Sykov as our secondary weapon, but until the Sykov is officially released, we can make do with the M19 pistol instead, as it looks fairly similar to a newer Russian pistol called the PL-15, which is intended to replace the Makarov in the future. Plus, the attachments we're going to be going with can be applied to both weapons, so let's take a look at these attachments. For our first attachment, we're going to choose a muzzle, and I have gone for the tactical suppressor. Both the Makarov PB and the Makarov PMM variants allow the use of suppressors to be attached onto the muzzle, with the PB featuring an integral suppressor. Since our AS-VAL also includes an integral suppressor, we'll also go with the tactical suppressor for our Psychov. For our second attachment, we're going to choose a weapon perk, and we're going to go with Fungible Disabling. As the name suggests, this perk slows down our enemies when we fire our bullets into them, and so that will stop the bad guys from escaping our line of fire. And for our third and final attachment, we're going to go with a rear grip, and we're going to choose the Granulated Grip Tape. This grip tape grants us with increased aiming stability and aim walking steadiness, and not only does this counter the deficits of the tactical suppressor, this will also help us to stay focused when moving around corners, so that's why we'll choose this as our final attachment. So those are going to be our primary and secondary weapons for this class setup. Now let's take a look at our perks and equipment that we're going to be selecting. For our first tier perk, we're going to choose Cold Blooded. The Spetsnaz are very covert with their operations, and so like death moving in the shadows, we want to stay invisible to the enemy. Cold Blooded, as the name suggests, keeps ourselves ice cold against hostile thermal scopes and kill streaks, and just like the Spetsnaz, keeps us camouflaged against the environment, so Cold Blooded will be our tier 1 perk. For our second tier perk, we're going to choose Ghost. Ghost again keeps us covert and hidden off the enemy's minimap, and helps us to recreate those sneaky infiltrations that the Spetsnaz do. So that's why Ghost will be our tier 2 perk. And for our third and final perk, we're going to go with Battle Hardened. The Spetsnaz are known for wearing big protective helmets, as it's standard for their uniform. Battle Hardened acts like a protective helmet by reducing the effects of stun grenades, flashbangs and toxic gases we may encounter, so that's why it will be our tier 3 and final perk. Moving on now to our equipment. For our lethal equipment, we're going to choose C4. The Spetsnaz use explosives to disable and destroy enemy ground communications and hostile vehicles. In Modern Warfare, we can equip the C4 explosive to replicate this. C4 is useful for taking out enemy IAVs and APCs, and is extremely effective if you chuck one of these into a window or door and blow the enemy to Kingdom Come, so the C4 will be our lethal equipment. And for our tactical equipment, we're going to go with the decoy grenade. It's one thing destroying enemy comms, but it's another to use it against them. Decoy grenades in Modern Warfare create a false ping on the enemy minimap and mimics gunfire to create confusion. This is useful to draw the enemy's attention elsewhere, shifting their focus onto a distraction and giving us the opportunity to strike, so the decoy grenade will be our tactical equipment. So now that we've talked about our perks and equipment, it's time to finish off this loadout by taking a look at our field upgrade of choice, and of course our selection of 3 kill streaks. For our field upgrade, we're going to go with Dead Silence. Spetsnaz wear balaclavas underneath their helmets to help protect their identities, keep their faces warm in colder climates, and intimidate their foes. The Dead Silence field upgrade features a balaclava, so we'll choose this as our field upgrade. Moving on now to our 3 selected kill streaks. For our first kill streak, we're going to go with the counter UAV. The counter UAV drone scrambles enemy radars, disrupting any critical communication displayed to them on the minimap. Furthermore, the closer the enemy gets to the affected area, the more their HUD will be scrambled, thus making the counter UAV a transmission nightmare. This kill streak aligns perfectly with our mission goals, and so the counter UAV will be our first kill streak. For our second kill streak, we're going to choose the precision airstrike. Spetsnaz get down and dirty when the job gets gritty, and will need supporting firepower when they discover their target's location. We want to kill hostiles and sabotage their transportation and equipment by any means necessary for the motherland, and so by calling in a precision airstrike onto a designated zone, 2 Warthog jets will strafe onto the map and deliver a spray of armor-piercing bullets that will leave no man or woman walking. And finally, for our third kill streak, we're going to choose the advanced UAV. Russian military already use some of the best surveillance technology in the world, and given the Spetsnaz are Russia's special forces, they would be among the highest to have access to powerful reconnaissance drones. The advanced UAV flies at a high altitude above the clouds, and reveals to us enemy locations and directions in real time, giving us intel to foil any terror plots against Mother Russia. So that's why the advanced UAV will be our third and final kill streak. Combining our weaponry, perks, equipment, field upgrade and kill streaks, in Mother Russia, you don't handle gun, gun handles you. So troops, that wraps up my Spetsnaz Reloaded loadout video for Modern Warfare. Next time you boot up Modern Warfare multiplayer, definitely give this class setup a try in game and suppress your enemies. If you did enjoy this loadout video, then give the video a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it a lot. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, then why haven't you? Hit subscribe right now and also click the bell notification icon next to it, so that way you're always notified as to when I make an upload. If you have any friends who might be interested in this sort of content, then share the video around with them to help give my loadout videos and my channel more widespread exposure. And if you want to see behind the scenes previews on my loadout videos, you can follow me on Twitter at jordanxbrookes for all the latest on there. Stick around for some more Modern Warfare and Warzone loadouts. This next one was highly suggested in the comments on my last video, so I'll be bringing that one out in the near future. So until the next video, I thank you all for watching, stay true to me troops, and I'll see you in game.